Hi, I'm Steve Miller and welcome to this latest video where I show you how I use DxO Photolab 8 to edit my sports photos. In my last video I showed you I used Adobe Bridge to cull and add metadata and keywords to my images, and then I'd copy them into a working folder on my hard drive. And this is a follow on to how I do my sports photos, how I do them and how I set the presets up to make the sports photo editing quite quick. So this is the photos from a shoot that I did of Barra Raiders, Sheffield Eagles. And what I do, I know this was a dull day, so it's quite easy to do with using a preset. I just select all the images using Command A, and then I'd go into my presets folder, and I have two presets set up, one for a sports bright day and one for sports dull day. And I know on this day it was a dull day, it was raining a little bit and the sun wasn't shining so much, so for these images I'd use the sport dull day. Now this preset will be set to all these images. It's just for setting the lighting and things up really. Once I've set that preset, I can just go into the images individually and crop the images. So I'll just skip through, I'll just start on this image here. So it's just a matter of a quick crop really. I use a Wacom tablet. I'd advise anyone to use a tablet if you do a lot of photo editing. It just speeds up. It's just far better to use a tablet if you're doing a lot of photo editing. And I have some express keys set up for DxO Photolab. So on express key I've got one set for crop, so I can just press that key, do a quick crop, press return, and there it is. And then I just press the arrow key to pick the next image, and it's same again on my express key, just click that key. I do something like that for this image. Just a bit of a tip there, if you notice I left this guy over here, I left his eyes in the image. I don't think it looked right. It's just not as good like that. So I thought just little things like that you know can make a difference between your photos. I mean, a lot of people, they don't like chopping people off at all, but I mean, to me, this is the subject. This guy here passing the ball's a subject. So to me, I think something like that would be okay. I'd do that as a crop. So as you can see, it's quite quick. If I want, I can just go through them quite quickly. Next image, crop. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to get through your photo. I mean, I've got 141 images to go through, but it wouldn't take long to do that. If I go back in, I'll just reset these images. I'll show you how I set up the preset. Like I say, I've got two set up at the moment, one for bright day and one for dull day. I haven't got one set for nighttime sports photography. I haven't done any games under floodlights for a while, so I'd set one up for the next time I do a game under floodlights. I would set up a preset. But it's quite simple as well to set up the preset. So on this, on any dull day, if I'm making a preset for a dull day, I just find a photo for dull day, and I just sort of think, right, let's have a look at a photo that I think would be good for setting just the lighting really. We can't do the crop obviously, the crops are all individual, but so I'd say maybe that. It's quite a good day photo to start with. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the settings that we want to put on all the photos. So actually I said I don't want to do crop, but I will do crop because I put the horizon on, so auto horizon. If you can see that, then it's just rotated the image slightly just to correct the horizon. It must have been off a bit. If I didn't have the auto crop on, I might have black edges showing around the outside of the image after I've done the horizon, after the horizon had straightened. So I leave that on distortion. I just leave that at auto. That's set for the setting for the lens. Now this is where I might do some some other tweaks. I mean, smart lighting, I have it set to 20 on my preset where it brings all the images in, but I might just up that a little bit for this image. I'd want to go and lift the shadows. We're just brightening it a bit, and because it's a dull day, I think it's probably a little bit of clear view wouldn't go amiss on this image. That looks quite good. I wouldn't use the contrast. I'll show you why. If I up the contrast on this, I think the saturation of the colours goes up too much. So I don't really like using the contrast for my sports. What I'd do, I'd use the tone curve, and I'd use a light contrast luma curve. I mean, you might like your images more contrasty. I mean, what you're doing, you're setting this preset up for how you'd like the image to look yourself. I mean, we're all different. We all like, images to look different, really. So, but I think I like luma contrast curve. It'd be good on this. The vignetting, that's set to auto with the module for the lens and camera. Deep prime, I just leave it on deep prime 3. I don't use XD or XD2S on sports because sometimes it can go a bit waxy, so I leave it as it is. I usually, on most of my photos, the landscapes and my wildlife and things, I usually just leave the lens sharpness as is, but for my sport I do actually add a bit of extra. I go to +2 usually on, if I just go type 2 in there, on the lens sharpness. I just like them that little bit sharper for sport. Here's another very subjective one for the white balance. On a dull day, by experience I know I like it if I set it to daylight, and then I'll just warm it up a little bit. So that looks quite nice to me for a dull day. That looks quite good. That's just looking a little bit green, so I might just up the tint a little bit. That's looking quite good now, yeah. And that is all the adjustments that I would do for my sports photo. The vibrance, I have usually set on +5. I might just up a little bit, maybe like that. So that's all my adjustments that I want to save in this preset. So once I've set it for this image, I can just go to image, new preset for image settings. On this one I'll just do YouTube dull, and I'll create that preset. Now that preset will have come in. There it is at the bottom of the list there. So I can use that preset on other photos now. So if I go and click the next photo, I can apply that preset either by using the preset edit. I can apply it through there, or if you go to the next image, you can go to your presets. I'll just drag that back up. The presets, that will be, where's it put it? There. YouTube dull. So that is a preset I've just set up. So that is how I'd set up my presets for my sports, and so like I say, that would be a good preset for dull day. And then if I wanted to have a preset for a bright day, I'd just have to find a photo shoot that was in sunlight, a bright day photo shoot, and just use one of them images to set up a preset for bright day. So it can be quite quick doing sports photos using DxO Photolab. I hope that helps. If you've any suggestions for any other videos you'd like me to do, or just leave them in the comments, please. And thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.